Everything keeps getting weirder and weirder. Back in 2019, I wrote an article titled, "Things Are Only Going to Get Weirder." And from COVID to the 2020 election to the steadily increasing regularity with which UFOs are now mentioned in the mainstream media, that has indeed proved to be the case. Our ongoing slide into the abyss of infinite weirdness may have eclipsed this from your memory by now. But there was once a time, not too long ago, when frequent mainstream news stories about the possibility of extraterrestrial aircraft in our skies would not have sounded like something from real life. Lately, it's been a daily occurrence, and the President of the United States is now being asked about it at news conferences. President Obama says there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomena. And he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think it is? A reporter asked Biden near the end of a joint press conference with South Korean President Moon Jae-in on Friday. Biden brushed off the question in his trademark almost but not quite lucid way with the comment, "I would ask him again," and hustled off the stage. The question followed comments by Barack Obama earlier in the week on the Late Late Show with James Corden. But what is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved their trajectory, Obama said. They did not have an easily explainable pattern. And so, I think that people are still seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is. This follows a recent high-profile 60 Minutes special on UFOs, or unidentified aerial phenomena as the cool kids are calling them nowadays. While the Pentagon continues to release information to the public about the existence of these encounters, and the U.S. Senate prepares to receive a mandated report on the matter next month. A new Telegraph article titled "The Pentagon Thinks UFOs May Exist After All, and the Evidence is Growing" just trended on Twitter under the much more click-friendly title, "The Pentagon Strongly Suspects Aliens Exist, and We've Got the Evidence." And it ominously warns us that there is a growing acceptance among defense officials around the world that there may indeed be something out there, and that it might pose a genuine global security threat. These are just a few of the many, many mainstream news reports that have been pouring out lately on a subject which, until recently, was the sole purview of fringe crackpots and conspiracy theorists. Speaking of which, another weird thing we've seen in the roles between the mainstream reporters and the UFO enthusiasts being almost reversed. We now see MSNBC pundits openly musing that UFOs are clearly real and they've been hanging around our airspace for a while, while influential ufologists like Stephen Greer are warning that this is a hoax by the U.S. military to get a bunch of dangerous weapons into space. I'm not interested in being one more person on the internet claiming to know exactly what's going on with all this. But I do know there's an exactly 0% chance that all this is coming out into the mainstream spotlight because the U.S. war machine suddenly decided that the public has a right to know about a potentially dangerous security threat. The Pentagon did not spontaneously evolve an interest in radical transparency, and it is not coincidental that this is happening as we hurtle into a new multi-front Cold War and an accompanying race to weaponize space. As I've said before, the simplest and most likely explanation for all this UFO stuff is that the U.S. military is manipulating us, yet again, to advance yet another strategic agenda. I'm not saying that's necessarily the full story, but it is definitely happening. Again, there is a high-profile Senate report on this subject due next month, so we can expect the weird to get even weirder quite soon. This is happening as narrative manipulation gets even more ham-fisted and overt, with the empire having now graduated from just imprisoning inconvenient journalists to literally bombing inconvenient journalism offices. The only prediction I'll make out of all this mess is the same one I've been making, that things are going to keep getting weirder and weirder. Patterns are unpatterning, power structures are struggling to retain their foothold, humanity's relationship with narrative is radically transforming, and we are not just plunging into the unknown, but actively flooring the accelerator into it. And, in a profoundly sick society with profoundly unhealthy patterns, that might just end up being a good thing.